with the latest on LeBron James and whether or not one of his potential suitors accidentally leaked his free agency decision. If you missed it overnight, the Miami Heat team official YouTube page posted a video on their channel scheduled for July 27th titled LeBron James Introductory Press Conference. It was scheduled for July 27th. If you clicked on it, it took you to a blank link. It wasn't set. However, that was later debunked by multiple reporters, including Anthony Chang, who covers the Miami Heat for the Miami Herald, who said an explanation on the LeBron James introductory press conference video that has taken over X. It was a mistake by the Heat's social media department while preparing for the possibility of LeBron picking the Heat, but there is no validity to it right now.
Shams
at ESPN,
is, why would they have a specific date, though, if it was totally phony?
Real quick, Shams at ESPN has also debunked it, saying he talked to team sources who said it was just scheduled in the future. The date can change at any point.
Oh, I see.
You just put a date up there so it lives in perpetuity. There's a button you could click on YouTube. We know because we have many of these videos hidden for future.
Take 10 seconds and explain that, Mike.
So basically, we have in UCSS land every thumbnail for LeBron James signing with the Cavs, the Heat, the Sixers, the Warriors, whatever, already pre-made. We have headlines written. We have streams scheduled so that if he does pick any of those teams, instead of having to go through the time to set it up, it is already preset. You just hit go live and it goes live. There's a little checkbox you can click when you're setting up these videos on YouTube where you can either hide the preset video or it can show up so the next day it can generate views. When we make the stream for each show, I said it the night before. You can see that day's stream the night before because it's preset, and we're not hiding what we're talking about. We want you to see what the topics are upcoming.
Yeah.
So this is a very common thing that happens on social media. I think someone on the Miami Heat PR team, social media team, intern just forgot to check the box of hide this.
Yeah.
Do you guys think this is a telltale sign by any means?
Shams said that this is just an in case.
He said it was a quote, mistakenly published the link while preparing for a possible LeBron James signing.
Okay, so he's saying possible. He's not saying they mistakenly put it up there too soon.
Correct.
I mean, Shams is the guy in the know more than. I'm sorry. Shams is. You're right. Good job out of you. Shams is the guy in the know more than anybody else in the NBA. If he's saying that it was just a mistake, that they're preparing like Mike does, like every other show does on TV, of the possibilities. They want to be prepared if LeBron does come to Miami. I'm going to believe that. I obviously I want to believe that because I don't want it to be true, but I think that explanation makes sense. So I'm all in on it not being true.
This is 1,000% exactly what happened. By the way, what you could actually add to that is if you have more than one contributor, like say for instance, like we do shows like Ultimate Browns. So when I do the Ultimate Browns, most people have partners. I don't have a partner, it's just me. And so I'm tasked to put I got to put my own thumbnail up and I got to put all the stuff up. And so I have access to upload it. So I don't have to, tap Mike on the shoulder. Hey, can I put this up?
Yeah.
So the more people you have access to, the more people you have potentially that are in there. You're clicking around certain things. Also, McNuggets, sometimes there's lots of things that's already in your description. And sometimes you'll go to another video, steal something from that description, copy it, paste, put it in there. And then while you're doing stuff, you might click and accident if you got a bunch of windows up. Long story short is I would be willing to wager there's hundreds of people that got access to this stuff. And somebody must have hit Premiere or not Premiere and it just showed up. They took it down. And the internet is undefeated though. The super sleuths is undefeated. So, and then the great thing about it is it still works out for LeBron. And he loved it. He like, yo, I got the Adam Silver telling me to hurry up. Then now I got Rich Paul. And think about it. Rich Paul does a podcast now. So now he's just like, he's just the ringmaster. This, everything looks good. So now Miami is like, well, at least we in the news. We didn't know we was gonna get LeBron. So at the end of the day, do I believe that that's gonna be a smoking gun and where LeBron's going, Jason? No. But hey, this is where we at today. It's part of the game.
Yeah. So, if this is true, then you're telling me that the social media intern for the Miami Heat knows what LeBron's doing, but
Right, yeah.
But Pat Riley
but
don't.
Shams doesn't.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Nah.
So and this this is so hard, and this is so I have obviously been extremely careful with anything I've said on this show because I know where things can lead.
Yeah.
And even yet, I gave Mike something a couple of days ago that turned out to be inaccurate. And luckily it didn't make it to air. Like it was just, I told him like, hey, be ready.
Yeah.
This is what we are hearing from the inner circle.
Yeah.
And it wound up being inaccurate. So it's so hard. This is so hard. And it's why the people at the very top of this are trying very carefully not to say the wrong thing or get ahead of themselves. I mean, I've seen goofballs in Miami. I saw some goofball tied to Levitard saying that he was going to announce tomorrow at 5 or something.
Right.
And he even said,
Pat Bev.
What's that? Oh, yeah.
Pat Beverly.
Yeah. I love it when ex-players screw it up. I love it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, there you go. Now you know. It ain't so easy, is it?
Yeah. Yep. Now you got dudes
and
looking
plus,
crazy.
Plus, I think sometimes just wires get crossed. That's why I told Mike yesterday. We were talking on the phone last night at the swim meet. I said, where I think it came from on our end was not the original place I thought it came from. So that was my fault for making a misinterpretation.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm like, I told you guys, like, take as long as you want. Okay, I'm ready for it to be over. I've joked all month, like, take as long as you want. We don't have to talk about Browns quarterbacks. Yeah. Now I'm like, all right, it's July 27th.
We was at the golf course. We was at the golf course, and I'm going to tell you what. It was a really good show. Me, Zach, and McNuggets. We rolled through every Cavs person in the world, except for Jason, because he was, out on vacation.
Yeah.
Doing
it was his birthday. He was enjoying his 50th birthday.
Doing your thing. But everybody from Fedor to Spencer to Varden. Who else we have on?
Danny Cunningham.
Danny Cunningham was there.
Austin Carr, Kaylee Griffin, Tim Alcorn,
Mike Fratello. Everybody came on, and the one thing that they all did was like this. Oh, no. Hey, listen, they looked directly at G. Bush. Listen, hey, be cool. Do not be asking me nothing crazy. I'm not going to tell you nothing. They looked at me. I'm like, no, I ain't going to get you. Just say I did it. I tell Jason all the time, you ain't got to get this one. But they all looked like they were just like you. Like, I'm not about to put my foot in my mouth.
That's
I'm
right.
not doing it. I'm staying over here. Like, just let me go ahead. I got my laptop. That's all we going to say.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the established people at this point, Bull, is ready to get it over with. Because they're like, it does us no good to even speculate past what we're going to do because it makes us feel uncomfortable because it might not be true. We don't know.
Yeah.
And, G, that gets us into the next part of this conversation, which was there is no timetable for LeBron to make a decision. Rich Paul was on with Pat McAfee yesterday and was asked, hey, what's the timeline for LeBron? And Rich said, quote, we're not going to be rushed. It's him being LeBron James's choice to make. And when he makes the choice, he'll make it. LeBron's friend, Channing Frye, former teammate with the Cavaliers, former Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show guest, was on the Yahoo Daily podcast, was asked about LeBron, his timetable, when he thinks he'll make a decision. And this is what Channing Frye had to say about LeBron.
In all honesty, I think this is like, it's so funny hearing the two sides of this. The one side is like, oh man, he's narcissistic and he's holding up the NBA and it's all about him and his attention. And I'm pretty sure he's been golfing or going to concerts the last month. Like, I don't think he gives a crap. Right? I think he's, the dude is going to be 42 years old. He understands he can't win it by himself. So the other part of this is, hey, I want to see what team you put together. I'm LeBron James, and I'm going to go there for the vet minimum. So for him, take it as, you guys go ahead and do what you have to do. And then, you know what? That looks like fun. I like a lot of these guys. Here's how I can help. Now I'll go to that team. But until then, when's the last time LeBron wasn't doing Olympics? Or he wasn't going crazy for trying to be like, all the pressure's on me. The pressure's not on him anymore. What vet minimum guy has got this much attention for saying, guys, you go ahead. I'll catch up, right? And I think when he's saying this is the first time in his career, and the only time in his career, that he's having to, sit back and kind of enjoy his summer, right? And I think knowing him for as long as I have, he's always been like, what do I got to do to make this team a championship team? And in all actuality, there's nothing he can physically do anymore to make himself a championship contender. It has to be the team. And he has to be just a good part of that team. So when you look at it from that perspective, you're like, dude, enjoy your summer. Enjoy your summer. Play some more golf, go to more concerts, hang out, just stay in shape, and I'll see you in training camp.
in all that, said basically, he made it seem, I don't know if he was directly saying it, maybe I'm just reading into what he's saying. He's making it seem that LeBron hasn't decided yet and that he really wants to take his time. I know we've all assumed that LeBron has already made the decision, but for whatever reason is holding off on announcing it. Maybe he hasn't made his decision, because why would he, if he had made his decision, why would he still wait this long at this point? Would he be, I don't know. You think maybe he hasn't made a final decision?
I've thought all along that he has a pretty good sense of where he's going.
Yeah.
But I can't even speculate as to why. Maybe he truly has changed his mind or hasn't made up his mind. I mean, it's not that hard of a decision to me. And I'm not saying come to Cleveland. I'm just saying, like, you have all the information. You've known this is a guy who plans moves out years in advance.
Right.
Like, again, I told you in 2016, they knew in 2018 he was leaving to go to LA. If he knew for 2 years he was leaving to go to LA, you mean to tell me that he's truly dumbfounded on where to go, or he's truly torn?
Do you think he, like a year, maybe this time he thought he was going to stay with the Lakers and it changed?
No. If you remember when they sent out, Mike, you have to help me, like a year ago, Rich put out a statement on, and I can't remember exactly what it was.
Right.
On like the future of LeBron.
Okay.
And as soon as that statement came out,
thought he was out.
I was like, this is over. Because and that's the playbook I've seen before. So, and I did waver on that. Like, I thought, okay, I think he is going to go back to LA, only because they could offer him the most money, and I never thought that he would take a minimum.
Right.
I never thought he would take a minimum.
You know,
so if he is going to take less money, well, then that opens the door for everything else.
Right.
But I thought for a while he was going to leave.
You know, McNuggets, you a Chalamet guy, right?
I'm a what?
Timothy Chalamet.
That's your man's?
I don't think I've ever seen a Chalamet movie, but I'm a huge fan of his, yes.
How do you not?
How could you be a huge fan?
Right?
Never
What?
seen one of his movies.
I just decided I'm going to be a Chalamet guy.
You can't even say his name right.
Chalamet.
Chalamet guy, yeah. Just decided one day I was going to be a
Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet.
I'll
He's
tell
such
you.
a big fan. It's Chalamet.
So, is anybody big fans of Dune? Anybody watch Dune?
No.
Ant's a big fan.
I've watched
ready
it.
to pre-order my
I'm
ticket.
kind of done with Dune.
What
I don't
would
want
you
to see
say,
Dune
Anthony?
3.
You're wrong, Bull.
So
Dune
you
3's
watch
gonna be
Dune.
great.
So listen, so Paul Atreides, right? He has this thing called prescience, right? He can understand the future,
Right.
but his future splinters off in 1,000 different ways, right? So he can see the future, but there's a 1,000 different ways that the future could play out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what he gets caught up in this next one, in Dune, he's trying to figure out, spoiler alert, he's trying to figure out how does he stop the jihad? How does he keep Chani alive? And how does he keep everybody in the world and humanity from dying? Case in point, go watch it, take a look at it. With LeBron, he has a little bit of a prescience. I do think he's seen the future. I think he planned out when he was going to leave Cleveland the first time. I think he planned out when he was going to come on back from Miami. I thought he planned when he was going to go to LA. But the thing about prescience sometimes is as you get older and you start to change and mold and shape, you start to value other things that you didn't think you wanted to value. And I think he thought he had it all ready to go. But sometimes when you get to be 42, things weigh on you a little bit. And all of a sudden it's like, well, I'm only doing this one time. And I understand what the ramifications is if I do it wrong or if I do it right. So I want to be 1,000% sure that I'm doing it the correct way. Now, it may take him a little bit longer than what he recognizes or whatever the case may be. But I do think LeBron at this moment is more conscious of his decision and what's it going to be. And I do think he thought he was going to get it done quickly, but now I believe that he is actually thinking about some other things, like and what it entails. And if I was the Cavs, I would do it like this. I think he's looking at your energy. I think he's watching energy right now. If you're a guy like Donovan Mitchell, you're supposed to be full speed ahead and making sure that I'm going to take care of my part. If you Evan Mobley, I'm working out, getting better. I'm still working on my progression. I think he wants to go to a team that Channing is correct. He's not the focal point. He's a person that's going to add to something. And if you come out and understand what your game plan is and say, come on over here and get it done, we'll get it done. Yeah. But I think you can't just look at LeBron and move everything like you said, Jason, and say, all right, well, what do you want us to do? Because Rich Paul also said we passed that point.
Yeah. It's fascinating. You know, I wrote something for The Athletic yesterday on just the power that he has at 41 to bring the entire league to a halt.
Crazy.
At 41 years old.
It's insane.
He has brought the league to a complete stop.
Yeah.
And we talk about we said Adam Silver said they can't finish the schedule.
Right.
And the reason, like 98% of the schedule is probably done, but LeBron's presence absolutely impacts Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Facts.
And Christmas Day, if he comes back to Cleveland, you think a Lakers-Cavs Christmas Day game might be on the bill?
100%.
Okay, so that's probably going to be in LA, right? So now that's a West Coast trip.
Right.
So now you have the logistics of, are you just going to shove them out there for one game and bring them back, or are you going to build an entire West Coast trip around that?
Right.
So because I've heard people say, well, just put out a schedule. What does it matter? Oh, it matters.
Martin Luther King Day.
Especially
That-
absolutely.
Opening night.
Opening night.
The Knicks are the champions. The Knicks could open up the season potentially against LeBron James and the Cavs in a rematch of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Or
LeBron
Philly,
back in Cleveland. There's a lot of things.
Or whatever.
at play.
Philly, Miami. There's a bunch.
And if he did go to Golden State, now he's playing on the West Coast. It's all,
but Christmas Day used to be like, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
That I don't think people realize. Christmas Day used to be the NBA's turf, and now the NFL's moving in on it.
Oh yeah.
So the NBA's got to get Christmas Day right because it was one of their few days that the NFL didn't take from them.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that goes into that. But what I appreciate Adam's, like, the one thing I appreciate with him as commissioner is how honest he's been on a lot of things. He's been kind of transparent. And I don't think he meant much by that comment.
But it was a mistake to say it.
But what he did, the one thing you don't do with LeBron is try and bully him or pressure him,
that
because
was a
he will
mistake.
dig in. And I told Mike this yesterday. If you remember, when he got off the plane in Cleveland, wearing the Ultimate Warrior T-shirt and holding the trophy in 2016 when they won the championship. Remember he had on the Ultimate Warrior T-shirt? Ultimate Warrior's wife, he was dead at the time.
Yeah, he passed away.
His widow and her kids came to Cleveland for opening night. I don't know if you remember this. And the next on ring night.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the Indians are playing the World Series across the street.
Yep.
Cavs are having the ring ceremony. Ultimate Warrior's widow and kids were there, and the Undertaker was there because he had worn an Undertaker shirt earlier on in that series. So I think when he was doing interviews
Taker's
prior
a big
to Game
Bron
5.
fan.
So Undertaker shows up. Doesn't tell anyone he's coming. Undertaker shows up to the arena to meet LeBron. Didn't bother to tell anyone that he was coming, though. LeBron would not meet with him. So Undertaker standing there, full gear, full getup, just standing outside the locker room with like 20 media people and 20 of us like staring at him. He's staring at us and we're staring at him. Nobody's saying a word. And it was the wildest thing. I actually
oh my God, how awkward.
I have a Snapchat of it somewhere. So the Cavs were like trying to kill time. So they had him do like his gimmick.
Yeah.
And like where he rolls his eyes in the back of his head, he goes like, rest in peace.
Yeah.
And he did like a shoot for them to play in the arena and everything. But LeBron is not going to be used in any way that he doesn't agree with. So they didn't run it by him. He just showed up. Brown's like, I ain't meeting with him.
No.
Like, that's just
Even though he was a fan?
That's just how he is.
Yeah.
He's not going to be pushed around, bullied,
That is crazy.
leveraged, taken advantage of in any way.
Yeah.
So for Adam Silver to come out and say, we're waiting on you to make the schedule, LeBron's basically telling him, you're going to wait a little longer now.
Yeah.
You are not going to tell me what to do.
Now, maybe he's just, because he is taking the minimum, supposedly, maybe he really is not sure. If it's all about winning, which if you're taking less money.
It's all about happiness.
Happiness, right? Maybe he's not sure.
Man, listen,
maybe he truly is not sure. I don't know.
You gotta, let me just tell you something.
Yeah.
Be careful what you sign up for. Because when you sign your name on it, see, when you're doing negotiations anywhere, remember, sometimes I was explaining to Jay, say, listen, if you go into a negotiation, tell them they want more money. I want more money. But if you just in it just to get more money, and then they say, sure, you got to sign off and do everything that they're telling you to do. So it's like, okay, do I really want to sign up for this? So if he comes back to Cleveland, you know what we do in Cleveland. You know how we going to do. Like anything the Cavs was looked at like, oh, it's a nice little story, that's out the window.
Yeah.
We're going to be on them from Jump Street.
It's funny, Mike said, we were originally going to start with the Guardians, and it was kind of a blah game for the Guardians, and we'll talk about it later. Even though I say blah, they won. That's the most important thing. But Mike was like, yeah, but there's LeBron news. I'm like, yeah, what, I'm not one of these people who's annoyed about it. I'm like, whatever, it's going to happen. It'll happen. But I'm like, how much is there to talk about? And we just talked about it for 15
Great
minutes.
LeBron. It ended up being a great LeBron conversation.
And it was a different conversation than we've had. So it's funny.